My name is Jay Rigle, and I was an E6, which enlisted man, which would third class petty officer. E8, and then the other one was the O'Brien, and I think that was like 8. They were all 8 there. There was the Walk, W-A-L-K. These destroyers were named after some naval officer of some kind. The Walk, the O'Brien, the Small, and the Hubbard. And they were all, we were 838, and I think those other guys were like 836, and they were all kind of in the same. I can't be sure of that, but it was the Walk, the O'Brien, the Hubbard, and the Small. And we operated with them. They even were with us down in Weetah. When I was on this destroyer, one of the duties that we had after we also got out of that dry dock there was when right when Juan was called Formosa, and back then it was called Formosa, and there was a mass exodus from mainland China right then to Formosa. You know, Mao, was it Chairman Mao? Yeah. And so this destroyer was on what's called a picket ship. It had a radar on it, and we were patrolling that strait between. It's not that far from Formosa, Taiwan, to the mainland China. You can't see it, but you can't see each other, but it's not that far. It's about like the difference between the island of Hawaii and Oahu. So we were patrolling that because these Chinese were coming off the mainland in these wooden boats they call junks. And I can understand why they call them junks, because they looked like junk. And there'd be 50, 75, 100 people on these things with freeboard about like that. And the Chinese, if they had torpedo boats out there, and they were blowing them up if they could catch them. Or it wasn't hard to catch them speed-wise, but you know, they were moving in the night, and our duty was to make sure to try to help that not to happen. So we were patrolling that strait it wasn't just us. There was 4 destroyers in this, and in I forget what they called a group of destroyers, but they operated in a group of 4s, and that was our duty. We did that for a couple of weeks, trying to protect these Chinese people from going over to when they were escaping or excising themselves to. So that was pretty interesting, and I actually saw, it kind of reminds me of today, the people from Cuba doing this, but and they did sink some of them. Some of them got caught by the Chinese, and they had no qualms about they had these. It was like our PT boats, only a quarter as big. The Chinese did, and they just torpedo those things, and just blow them up. I didn't actually see that happen, but we saw them, and of course, when the Chinese saw us, they took off because we had orders to do the same thing to them. If they were fooling around, we had 5-inch guns on a destroyer, and so they knew better when they saw us coming that they did better to get gone out of the way. So that was probably the nearest thing I came to ever any combat.